And I got a phone call from the church leader who said, we've given Meri a release. And they said a few other things that I don't want to necessarily disclose that sort of upset me.
They did say that it was on the grounds of abandonment. And I know he doesn't like that word because he doesn't feel like he abandoned me. I feel like he did.
Robyn felt that if I waited on God, that things could change for mine and Meri's relationship. And that was advice that I took. And I waited. And as time went on, I realized that it was never really going to work.
Hi friends, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, October 14th. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. All right, the most recent episode of Sister Wives was on, and it was episode 5 of season 19. And as many of you know, this was filmed back in 2022, and so it all feels so old, right? Like we kind of know where things have gone, where things are at. But in this episode, we started to see signs of Kody basically blaming Robyn for everything. And there was a lot that I want to talk about, but in just this video, I kind of just want to talk about the whole situation with Meri and Kody, the release from the church, and Robyn like having this blubbering mess on the floor on Christmas, which was so fake and so ridiculous and it makes no sense to me. But what do I know? But when Kody and Meri's release came up in the episode, he blamed Robyn for stringing Meri along. So he blamed Robyn for Robyn telling him that he needed to wait on guidance from God to see if this relationship would work or not. And he's like, this was advice that I took, which is weird, right? Because I thought Kody was the one that was in charge. I thought Kody was the one that was the patriarch. Isn't he the one that says that he does whatever he wants? And so now he's blaming Robyn for stringing Meri along. What I think happened here is that Kody sold Robyn on being in a plural family, and he knew that she wouldn't marry him unless that he remained a polygamist. And I think that he had to do a lot of really careful maneuvering to keep her happy so that she wouldn't leave him. And I think Kody's desperation to keep her has a lot to do with the fact that at that point in 2022, she didn't want to be a monogamous wife. She wanted to be the head wife. But what do I know? So let's kind of dive into the blame game.
I'm sorry to Meri. I wish I would have figured it out sooner.
I'm going to be going around and pulling down all pictures of Kody and me. And also, we have spent 33 years together. This is like literally the majority of my life. I was 19 when we got married, right? Like it is my whole adult life.
Kody's been emotional about this with Meri. He shed tears about the fact that he and Meri are splitting. He said, I just wish it didn't have to be this way.
Meri is like moving on with her life and she's happy, not happy, but, resolved with the fact that she's going to move on. And I just think it's weird because Kody is like blaming Robyn for stringing her along, right? And then even in this clip, Robyn is talking about what Kody's doing that nobody has ever seen, right? Which makes me feel like it's a way to string Meri along. So she is saying that Kody has cried tears and he's so sad about all of this. And he's just so upset about it. And he's just so heartbroken. And I don't think Kody is heartbroken. In fact, Kody actually admitted that he has been terrified to leave Meri, not because he's not in love with her, but because she's his most least loyal wife, which is hysterical if you actually think about it. And he was worried about her and what she could do to him, like terrified of the information that she had about him. Really, it doesn't sound like someone that's sad that she left.
Oh, I'm absolutely relieved that it's done. It's sad, it's heartbreaking, but I'm relieved that it's done. I had moved on a long time ago, but let's just be honest here. I was afraid of what she would do if I ripped off that Band-Aid. It's because Meri was never loyal to me, ever. That's what I've been worried about, is just kind of reputation, because when you get divorced, your reputation is trashed.
For Kody to say that that Meri was his least loyal wife is actually hysterical. Even in the divorce, she has been loyal to him in that she would still probably get back together with him if he would change. You know what I mean? Like, she's heartbroken about it. She wished it wouldn't have happened. She never wanted this to happen. Like, she resisted this, according to the way that she talks about this on the show. But this right here was the moment where I knew exactly everything that I have said about Kody on this channel, everything that I have talked about with his demands for loyalty, his demands for people to not speak about him, his issues with the quote unquote trash talking. And now he's saying he was afraid of what Meri would do to him. Why? The only reason that you would be afraid of someone is if they had knowledge of what you were doing and that knowledge could destroy your reputation. And by I mean reputation, I mean Meri more than likely would know any crimes Kody has committed. Meri was his legal wife for over 20 years. Meri was with him for 33 years. She knows every single crime, scam, fraud, and loophole he has used to rip off the government, to rip off people, to rip off customers or whatever. She knows everything that he's done. The only people in Kody's life that have all of the knowledge are his legal wives. This is why he's also desperate to keep his relationship with Robyn from falling apart, because Robyn also knows all the details. And this is why he is screaming to everyone that they just need to be more loyal. Because if they keep talking and divulging what he's doing, he's at risk for arrest. And Kody has been terrified of being arrested. And he has always said that he was terrified for being arrested because of polygamy. I want to be clear, Kody's crimes have nothing to do with polygamy. I mean, they're associated with polygamy, but his crimes are because he's a con artist and he's a fraud and he doesn't want to work. He would rather rely on everyone else and grifts to get money. And so now his like hyper fixation on loyalty is about keeping these women quiet so that his dark secrets don't come out. And so his fraud isn't exposed because he's always afraid of getting arrested. It fuels a lot of his paranoia.
But the things that he's saying about me to other people and that people are believing are not true.
I'm not even part of that church, and I don't respect any of the leaders of that church, and I don't think they have any say over my life. But Meri did, and I am really glad that she did. I'm glad that she got the release. I think that's really, really cool. Good for her. It's sad because I really hope that she continues to want to be friends with him, want to be friends with me, and still have some of those experiences together. And I just hope Meri's okay.
Each one of the wives reacted to her release, and I liked what Christine said was that she didn't respect any of the leaders of the church. They have no authority over her, basically just saying like, these people are crap, you know, without saying it, but then happy for Meri for getting the release if that's what she wanted. Janelle said that she didn't need to get the release and didn't even know that she could get a release and wouldn't even know how to do it because she doesn't even know anyone at the church anymore. And that's probably not true. I'm sure she knows people at the church. Although Janelle's roots in the church are not as deep as anyone else. So she doesn't have like extended family members that are in the church. None of her siblings are a part of the church. So maybe she's not lying there, but she doesn't want to get a release. And of course, Robyn cries because Robyn is still holding on to this idea of polygamy. You know, in this episode, I want to be clear, like, I don't know if Robyn's lying or not lying, but I will say that based on what she is saying and based on what Kody is saying, Robyn's struggle has to do with her still having a faith and a testimony that the only way to get to the celestial kingdom is by living the fullness of the gospel, which is polygamy. And Kody being like, well, I sold you on this lie about our lives being destined to be in polygamy, and now you just need to get over it, which is what we're going to get to here in a second. Because Kody is afraid of Meri, but then now he admits that he lied to Robyn about how to get her into the family under false pretenses. And this is actually, I think, why Robyn always says that she feels like she was tricked. I don't like Robyn, but if Robyn was really looking to enter polygamy, which everyone I've talked to that knows her has told me this is what she wanted, even those that knew her from before this said that she wanted to be in a plural family, that if Kody can't give this to her, then her dream of living the fullness of the gospel is gone, shattered. That's, you know, that's a big loss for someone that has a belief in this faith. And for Kody now to be like, well, now you just need to get over it, tells me that Kody has lost his faith and that Robyn is the one that has a faith. And so this whole fight has been between Kody and Robyn about keeping things the way they are because he knows that without her being a polygamist, she won't be happy. And I'm not to say that she's happy being a wife and having to share. It's because she, at this point in time, believes she had to live this way in order to get to heaven. It's a strange dynamic. Like a woman can say that they want to do this and still not like it, but they have to do it in order to get to heaven. So I kind of see where the conflict is between the two of them. And I think her way to be in the system the best or the to get navigate through the system without being miserable was to be the head wife, not the last wife. It was a survival tactic, a survival method, because they're all competing for the same resources. So now we're going to get to what this whole thing is with Robyn and Kody.
This isn't what I envisioned my life to be. I always wanted to live through marriage. I'm in this place where everything that's going on is just, it's taking away all those choices for me. I'm struggling with my identity and what does it mean? And I don't see my future anymore. And the hopes and dreams that I had are just disappearing before my eyes.
Now, given the fact that nothing for the last 10 years that we've seen on the show proves that Robyn had any interest in actually living as a family, she monopolized Kody's time. She wanted him all to herself. She made him feel like he had to do things in order to keep her. She threatened to leave if he would do things. He made her sign or agree to the fact that he wouldn't leave her in a miserable place and he would just move on because she literally saw what he was doing to the other women. So she knew walking into this that Kody was already abandoning wives, he was already abandoning his family. And so now for her to say that she's struggling with losing her identity, I think that Kody and Robyn had this like very weird relationship with polygamy. Both of them were able to use the show in ways where they were able to show to their families that they were the success, right? So Robyn could hire her older sister's daughter as an employee to show to her older sister, hey, look, I'm a success. I'm a successful polygamist. And Kody could do this show to prove to his dad and to his family, like, hey, I'm a success. I'm the most successful polygamist there is. And even though behind the scenes they weren't practicing the faith, they weren't going to church anymore, and they were living like monogamists on the outward appearances, they could pretend like they were successful polygamists that were doing everything right. And that's what she put her success in. Look at me, look at me. I'm a public polygamist, and look at me. Our family is the most righteous. I mean, that would be a pretty intoxicating feeling if you come from a culture that's so secretive and then you're the one that's like, I'm the most successful. And I say this because there was a season when she was 35 and they were talking about my sister wives closet, and she said that she was finally feeling at the age of 35 that she had met and made her success. She had reached her success. She was part of a plural family. She had her own business. She was on a successful show, right? She had all the benchmarks of success, and now it's a failure. Your success came at the detriment of so many other people and at the heartbreak of so many other people. She wanted the benefits of this family, but she didn't want to share. She didn't want to contribute. She wanted her narcissism to be fueled. She wanted to look and appear a certain way, but she wasn't at any time being a plural wife. She was monopolizing the family and taking things from everyone else for herself. But to her, she felt like a success. So I think her loss of identity is realizing that her life was built on a falsehood, a lie, and she's exposed. But that's just my opinion.
Robyn's holding on to something. I've always said this woman has a spine of concrete and steel. She's been holding on to the dream that I sold her on with my family for a lot longer. But I keep trying to go, let's move on. Let's let this go. Let's just tell ourselves and believe it. Because I believe it now. It was never meant to be. It was never meant to work. We had children together. We gave life to these children. These children can have a great life, just not with a mom and dad that are together.
So now Kody wants Robyn to not say it feels like destiny, like we should have been together since day one. I mean, that used to be her opening line forever. It feels like destiny, like we should have all been together since day one or something like that. And now he wants her not to think it's destiny. So it's kind of like how Kody said that he said that Meri, didn't follow his rules and she broke the covenant. But now he's saying that he doesn't believe in it and it wasn't destiny and it wasn't even supposed to be destiny. It was just never supposed to happen and this is how it's supposed to be now. And now he wants Robyn to let go of her faith so that she can stay with him. I can't decide if Kody is just delusional or if he just found different ways to manipulate the women. So with Robyn, he could manipulate her faith differently than he could manipulate the other women. And apparently, with Robyn now, after years and years and years of telling her that this was destiny, they should have always been together, her giving a damn purity speech saying that she was destined to be with him and never should have married anyone else and someone else stole her purity. Now you're supposed to say, well, remember that purity speech you gave, Robyn, where you said that another man stole your purity? Well, I was just kidding. It was never destiny for you to be with me. And that whole thing was just for my ego because I wanted everyone to know that you are mine, nobody else's. Was she in on the con or was she conned? Or did they con each other? I can't decide.
It just hit me so hard that I just don't get to have the perfect Christmas because my family's not here.
It's time to do something a little bit different.
It's time to create some new traditions and some new things to have fun with and some new ways to celebrate that have nothing to do with how things used to be and everything to do with how you want them to be.
Here's what I can't understand about Robyn is she's sitting there crying because she can't have the perfect Christmas. But the year before didn't want to have Christmas with anyone because no one would do what she wanted them to do. And she isolated Kody from his kids so that they couldn't have Christmas together for 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row. And now only Meri's not going to be there. Okay. So only Meri isn't going to be there. And now she's having a meltdown. They haven't had a family Christmas in 3 years. And she's acting like this is the end of it. And she really thinks that it would be better if women that were miserable and unhappy and being used and exploited and mistreated and children that were being mistreated and discarded and abused would be better because it's what she wanted. This is where her narcissism is just shining through because she can't empathize with the women that left. She refuses to empathize with them. Refuses. Janelle can empathize with Christine and can empathize with Meri, and they all can empathize except for Robyn. Robyn has no concept of empathy, even though she claims that she's an empath. Because Christine is right. She should be allowed to make new memories and have new traditions that are based on them and what they want and their new lives. And no one should be forced to stay in a family where a husband doesn't love them. I mean, Meri even said that, if Kody didn't want this and he wasn't in love with them, he never should have done this to begin with. He conned the 3 women into this family under the guise of religion that I don't think he ever really believed in, because I think he did this because his parents got into it and he wanted to one up his dad maybe and look like the hotshot and sleep with a bunch of women and have an excuse to be an adulterer and have control over women's money. And Robyn is sad because she doesn't get her perfect Christmas after she has had meltdowns for the last 3 Christmases about this. How many more meltdowns is Robyn going to have about Christmas? It's just so fake and phony, and it's just a way for her to play the victim.
For me now, my prayer was just save me and Robyn. I have this wonderful relationship with her. The pain of this experience has caused much trouble in our own relationship. It's been a real struggle. So I hope and pray that we just manage it, that we save our marriage, that we save us, we save the special that we started out with after this horrible experience of breaking up.
Kody doublespeak. This is Kody doublespeak. He says that his entire marriage was built on the fact of the dream that he sold to Robyn. So if that's true, if he's not lying here and he sold her this dream of polygamy and that's how he wooed her into the family, how then is she supposed to go back to the special place where they started if what they started on was his dream of polygamy? How do you build yourself back to a marriage that was built on fraud? You lied to her. That's kind of what I feel like he's saying, because now he says it wasn't destiny. It's it was okay. He was doing this because of God, but now he's not. He was not doing it because of God. It wasn't destiny. It wasn't what God wanted. So God just changes their ideas. And he's like, we just need to get back to this. We need to save our marriage. Like, I don't know. This marriage is a mess, an utter mess. They destroyed a family. They've destroyed each other. They have destroyed the finances. I mean, the two of them were so destructive together. How do you even repair that? At some point, they're going to start turning on each other. Is this that moment?
I'm just so heartbroken. The only thing that keeps my head above water, the only thing that keeps my head above water now is just prayers. I just had to take a moment and feel it and process. And I know that Kody's gonna struggle, and it's just not what I expected my life to be. And I don't know how to let it go.
So, what have we learned in this video? We have learned that Robyn is a narcissist that can't let go of the dream of success that she had, and she's having a meltdown about that. We've learned that Kody lied to Robyn about his family in order to get her to marry him. He lied about wanting to be a polygamist when he didn't. He misled her about all of it and kept her happy by giving her gifts and letting her spend money and making her life filled with luxury to ignore all of the other stuff, you know? He was feeding her need for shopping and giving her gifts and distracting her maybe. She was getting fueled by the power and the glory of it all, manipulating everyone along the way to feed her addiction of shopping maybe. Kody is a liar that destroyed a family, and he allowed his last wife to contribute to that destruction. And now Kody wants her to just get over it so that they can just go back to where they were in the beginning when they were polygamists and happy. That won't work because they're not polygamists and they're not happy. And Kody is afraid of Meri because Meri will tell on him and ruin his reputation and expose his crimes. So, really, what we're seeing here is a woman who thought she was going to get it all by having this show and be successful and have the highest rank as top wife. Now she's melting down because she's no longer the top wife. She doesn't have all the success she wants, and her plural marriage and celestial kingdom is blowing up. And Kody is like, screw it. I don't even believe in God anymore, and it wasn't destiny. And Meri, I was scared of her because she was going to tell on me. God, he's such a coward. Now, I have more to talk about, but this episode had a lot, and I just wanted to start with that, the meltdown of it all. And what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, everyone.